The guard didn't look rude. That was the first thing I noticed. He checked the clipboard once, then again, slower this time, like the name might appear if he gave it a second chance. "Sir, I'm not seeing you here." I didn't respond immediately. I just stood there, hands in my coat pockets, looking past him at the entrance. People were walking in without hesitation. Laughter, movement, music faint in the background. It was already happening. "Could you check again?" I said, not because I expected a different answer, but because that's what you say when something doesn't fit. He did. Ran his finger down the list. Careful, professional. Then he shook his head. "I'm sorry." I nodded once. Not sharply, not dramatically. Just enough to close the moment. I turned and walked back to my truck, the door shut with a heavier sound than usual. I sat there, hands still on the wheel, engine off. The venue lights reflected faintly on the windshield, blurring everything just enough to make it feel distant. 90 seconds is longer than it sounds. Long enough to go over numbers without trying. 114,000. Venue. Flowers. Cake. Music. Details I hadn't needed to attend meetings for because I trusted her choices. I told myself that was what support looked like. Giving space, not needing credit. I never asked where I would be sitting. That part hadn't occurred to me. I exhaled slowly and leaned back. There was a version of this moment where I walked back in, asked for someone in charge, explained who I was, forced the correction. It wouldn't have been difficult. That's what made it matter. Instead, I reached for my phone, not to call her, not to interrupt anything already in motion. I scrolled once, then stopped on a number I hadn't needed in a while. The event coordinator. I pressed call. She answered on the second ring, voice already in motion, managing something in the background. "Yes, it's me," I said. A pause. Not long, but enough. "Oh, sir, I'm outside," I said. There seems to be some confusion. Another pause, sharper this time. That shouldn't be possible. One moment. I waited. Through the windshield, I watched another group step out of a car, adjusting jackets. Smoothing dresses, walking in like this, was exactly where they were meant to be. A few minutes later I saw her. She moved quickly, scanning the area until her eyes landed on my truck. She approached with purpose, not panic. I stepped out before she reached the door. "There's been a mistake," she said immediately. "Your name is attached to the primary account. Everything is under your authorization." "I figured," I replied. She looked toward the entrance, then back at me. "I'll fix this right now." I believed her. That wasn't the issue. For the first time since I arrived, I had a clear path inside. No resistance. No question. All it would take was walking back with her. I glanced past her, toward the lights again. From here, I could hear the music more clearly now. A shift in tempo. Applause rising, then settling. It had started, without me. "I don't think that's necessary," I said. She blinked, slightly thrown off. "Sir, you should be inside." "I know," I said. That was the difference. Before, I hadn't known. Now I did. She hesitated, unsure whether to insist or step back. "I can arrange. It's fine," I said, not unkindly. "Just make sure everything runs smoothly." She nodded slowly, still trying to place my decision within something that made sense. "Of course." I gave a small nod in return, then stepped back toward the truck. For a second, I thought about asking a question, something simple, where she was sitting, whether she had noticed, but the moment passed before it formed. I got in, started the engine. As I pulled away, the venue grew smaller in the mirror. Not dramatically, just enough. There wasn't a sense of loss the way I expected, just a quiet adjustment. For months I had been part of something I assumed included me. Now I understood the difference between contributing and belonging. The road ahead was empty clear, and for the first time that evening I wasn't waiting to be let in anywhere. I was already moving.